brings the attackers together, gets the best out of the likes of Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, who loves arriving late in the box, Mason Mount, who can do that. And of
Mason
course,
Mount. Have you watched him in preseason?
Anthony.
Mm-hmm. Anthony. Sitso.
Listen, it's a difficult... Okay, now everything I said before during preseason, they want to be the best transition team because traditionally United have got that.
So they're signing for transitions?
He's got...
Transitions is that actual?
He's got he's got a ton of pace, right? His burst is good. He's got pace. He's just not an assured finisher. And I think when you want a striker for a club like Man United that needs goals like we saw last season,
okay,
that responsibility on his shoulders. I mean, he can come good. He's still very young. He's a talent. He's unpolished. He can come good. I just don't think he solved their goal-scoring problems. But if they need players to carry the ball, make the runs into the channel on transitions, it could be one of those.
Interesting. Where's Benaya? Do you have the Onana goal he conceded? If you don't have it, I'll be very disappointed. Let's move it on then. One player that is desperately in need of move is Kudus Mohammed. The reports are that Ajax were very, very upset with him because he hadn't yet found an agreement with Brighton, despite the club agreeing a deal with Brighton for him to move to England. The reports are that Kudus Mohammed himself still hasn't agreed personal terms with the club. Before we came on air, I saw somebody tweet that personal agreement has been reached and that he will have a medical later this week and complete that move to Brighton. Now, Arsenal were interested in him. Chelsea were interested in him. For sure, I think we can all agree that going from Ajax Amsterdam to Brighton is definitely a step back in his career in terms of the magnitude of a team that he plays for. But in terms of what the team can do for him and what the league can do for him, this looks like a really big step. And let's say, barring any unforeseen circumstances or him failing a medical, Kudus Mohammed to Brighton look like it's going to happen. Sitso, what kind of player are Brighton getting? And secondly, how can he benefit from this? Because Kudus is only 22, and certainly he doesn't see Brighton as his last destination. He's looking at Real Madrid or Barcelona or Man United or even Chelsea or all of the big clubs at some point. Certainly not Brighton. Is this the club to take him to that next level?
Absolutely, I think so. I really think so. They have a very, very good culture. It hasn't mattered what coach comes in the last 4 years. We've seen Potter, we've seen De Zerbi, and we've seen talents who have come from nowhere and all of a sudden walked into the most difficult league in the world and have blossomed. We've seen Caicedo, we've seen Enciso from last season, we've seen Indef. Evan Ferguson is an example, we've seen Karim Mitoma. Solimatch wasn't necessarily flying under Graham Potter, but under De Zerbi has been a different animal altogether. So, yeah, and we saw even Levi Cole last season, Billy Gilmore when he got fit in Brighton. So, yeah, when you look at an atmosphere or an environment that gives him the platform to move his abilities or his playing style to the next level, it could very much be Brighton. And let's face it, in terms of team profiling, Brighton is nowhere near Ajax. Ajax is a giant of a club. But Mohamed Kudus only became a star in an Ajax team that was at its worst in the last 4 seasons or so. The more reason why last season they were not champions. They didn't really do well in Europe last season as well. So that was a team that was failing. They've even gone down more. That's why Dusan Tadic even cancelled his contract. Yeah. And Kudus as well, maybe he was thinking that post-Ajax he would go to Real Madrid, he'd go to Liverpool, Man United, a bigger club, an elite club. But again, when you look at his performance in Ajax, when you look at the things that has happened to him in Ajax, sometimes not his fault, it's been down to injury or managers not preferring him or picking him. That has really stalled his progress that maybe he should have made. He went to Ajax with a lot of promise, started lots of games, got his knee injury, never got reinstated back into Erik ten Hag's team, and never really got minutes, And then when Schroeder came, Schroeder really struggled to find a place for him. It took Kudus trying to force a move for him to rethink where he could use him. He discovered that false 9 rule for him in Ajax, and he thrived. In fact, Kudus' best spells in Ajax was when he played in the false 9. It's not when he played in the middle. It's not when he played on the right. It's when he played as a false 9. Okay. And then when Schroeder left and Heitinga came through the door as well, he thought, well, Brobe is good. He need a physical presence there. But Kudus is also good in and around the box. So they played him on the right, where he could get close into the box, check onto his left. So the point is, as we sit now, nobody really knows Kudus' best position. And that in itself is a problem for a youngster who is turning 22. But I think when it goes to a team like Brighton, that would very much be sorted out, because Roberto De Zerbi has shown that he is one coach who knows how to unearth its talents.